Ah, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, if you're ready, we can just dive on in.
Yes.
Cool. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today, I am with Gia, who is an Italian mama of two, holistic nutrition consultant who supports women through pregnancy, postpartum, and early motherhood. So, with a focus on nutrition, lifestyle, and natural remedies, Gia's work is grounded in simplicity, nature, and deep care. So after living in Belgium and Denmark, Gia embraced the online space as a way to continue growing professionally while staying present with her children. She's passionate about helping other mothers do the same, building lives of purpose, connection without compromising what truly matters. So Gia, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad you're with me today. And I'd love just to start asking out. So, when you look back on your motherhood journey so far, what season or moment stands out as the most transformative for you? So, I know that's quite a big question to
It's a
dive
big question. Yeah. First, thanks a lot for inviting me. And I think it's really nice to have this chat with you. I'm really excited about and honored.
in. Too.
And yeah, this is a big question. So I think the the most beautiful and but also hardest moment was to have my first daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really like, yeah, it creates really like a transition from, yeah, not being a mother and being a mother. And I also had it was kind of a surprise because she's born 3 months earlier.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was just at the market and suddenly I just broke the water bag. And it was a sudden shift because my pregnancy was amazing. I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing all the music I wanted to do. I've been feeling really good. Like, I think is an amazing sensation just to
Mm-hmm.
be pregnant for the first time. And then suddenly all this starts, like the hospital rush. Oh my God, what is gonna happen? And tubes and machines and yeah, it's been like a sudden uh, yeah, change of our life that we didn't plan, we didn't expect. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in a way, you can never expect anything from
Yeah, yeah.
from life, but I think, yeah, it was just was a beautiful moment because my first daughter was born, and I've been so happy to just to see her, even if it was hard, even
Mm-hmm.
if it was like but I was also starting to be confronted a lot. So to this like separation between like yeah, what is the natural way of doing, what is
Mm-hmm.
the conventional, let's say, medicine is offering, and also like culture wise, because I gave birth in a country which was not my um, yeah, my home, so language I didn't understand, doctors and practices. I
Wow.
think I've been just like yeah, in a mix of all
Mm-hmm.
these things happening. I just needed to, I just remember like the fact about holding my daughter. She's been teaching me, and she's been saying to me, don't worry, I'm strong, we're gonna make that together. I
Wow.
remember, I was like so worried and so yeah, kind of shaken by the this moment. But
Yeah.
I just remember holding her, and she was just like small but so strong and peaceful that she said to me, "Don't worry, or it's gonna be fine."
Wow. So were there any complications with the birth? Because I think when I was reading on your website, was it through a cesarean that your first
The
daughter
first,
was born?
yeah, the first one,
So how
and
many weeks were you? Sorry, when you had her, how many weeks? Because you said you were
she
3 months early.
she's born at 29 weeks.
Wow, 29 weeks. And that must have been really scary for you being in like a foreign country. Like maybe, did you know the language at all, or was it like,
A bit, but I was not perfect. Now I'm much better in French, but yeah, it just complicated. When you're stressed and when you have like,
yeah.
yeah, doctor language and hospital and blah blah blah. Yeah, it was just a bit complicated.
Wow. And then your second daughter. So how did that first kind of pregnancy and that first birth kind of prepare you for your second daughter? Like, was there a transition where you kind of thought, I'm going to try and do this differently, or how did that kind of go for you between the first and the second pregnancy and birth?
I think we did like both me and my daughter, we did like some alternative therapies, I would say, just the fact to we tried really like to yeah, to let go of the traumatic experiences and just
Okay.
to start to trust life again in a way. And my second pregnancy, of course, was just a bit different because, yeah, it was a bit less dreamy, I would say. I was just traveling less, I was just playing less music. I just had a small toddler at home. But in a way, I was much more grounded, and I was also more conscious about a lot of things. Like I started to listen more to my body and eat, I would say, in a more balanced way. I research more like herbs and supplement. At that time, I was doing like the basic herbalist course, and I
Hmm.
was really a lot into it. And yeah, and I also welcomed like some um, yeah, like I would say traditional checkups. I mean, from the hospital, of course, you I was followed in another way because of my previous experience, and on the first yeah, it was a bit difficult for me to understand what I needed to do, but at a certain time I got clear into my mind, okay, I'm just gonna do everything that is that is coming to me, like how do you say, traditional
Hmm.
medicine and what they say checkups I have to do and all the natural stuff that I'm passionate about and just try to yeah to combine them together
Wow.
to make the best out of it. But yeah, but I have to be honest also, like I'm still learning a lot, and all the my studies just came like some years after having my kids. Even if I've been always been passionate about natural remedies and nutrition, I've been learned so much afterwards, which sometimes is hard because you feel like I should have known this stuff before.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. So is that what kind of like led you into what you're doing now? Because now, sorry, you're a nutrition consultant for women who are like pregnant, postpartum, like kind of following their earlyhood journey years through motherhood. So is that what kind of led you to want to support women just from going for your own research and trying to support women through that kind of time of their life?
Yeah, I think this is especially because, as I say, I didn't have this knowledge back then. I really start to realize how there is not so much focus on like really woman health. And of course, we have like checkups for midwives or the hospital, but there is no like personalized support, and nobody asks like what are you eating or what have you been eating in the past like years. Have you taken care of your body? I don't know, have you been exposed to toxins, or
Mhm.
how do you feel? It's really like basic support. And a part of me, I don't know if you can really say that, but there is a part of me that think, okay, if I had knew these things back then,
Mhm.
there are certain things that could have been gone differently
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
It's not a matter of regretting because like everything is life in life, it's like a lesson to move forward. I don't regret like my story, of course, but it's just like this feeling. There are so many other women that needs to go through the same like uncertainty and try to find their own answer and have this feeling, okay, there are another way of doing, but I don't know, I need to search, I need to ask. And it just gives like this sense of yeah vulnerability, like the fact of not be hold with somebody on the back that say, yeah, okay, there is this option and you can also do that and this is working. And so you feel like, okay, yes, I can try to do that. And I
Uh,
think sometimes, I mean, for me especially, I've been especially alone, maybe because of also being in, I give birth to two daughters in two different countries, which are not mine. So
mhm.
I really felt this lack of, yeah, lack of support. And and also choice in a way. We are not meant to do everything the same things.
Mhm.
And I mean, if you want to home birth, if you want to be in the hospital, if you want to be followed by a doula, if you want to be just have a midwife, there are so many options, so many ways, so many things to know. And I think, yeah, it's a bit of a pity just to have like a mainstream one way of doing things, and all the rest is information that you have to go and find yourself.
Yeah, because it's the mainstream. Sorry, I just need to clear my throat a second. Sorry. So yeah, the mainstream, like, and almost when you kind of say to them that you want to go down like alternative routes, they almost look at you like you're like, oh no, you can't do that. Like it's like a dangerous thing. I know like I've had friends who like want a home birth or, kind of do this alternative way. It's not alternative, it's like how women originally birth their children, right, at home in the comfort of their own home. But the mainstreams don't seem to support that very well. And because I did like a hypnobirthing course because when I had my first daughter, you're telling people you're pregnant, and then instantly people start telling you about these horror stories about when they gave birth. And then all you're kind of reflecting in your mind is like these, oh my goodness, like so and so said this traumatic thing happened during their birth, and then this. And then I was honestly terrified of birth. Like it really scared me. And I just kept thinking, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Although women have been doing it for thousands of years, I just kept thinking, like, I was just so scared. So I did a hypnobirthing course, and it was really, it didn't go my way in the end. And I ended up having an emergency cesarean, but the hypnobirthing course I thought was absolutely incredible. And like the breath work and the visualization and everything like that, it was so powerful. And it just kind of made me think, like, why aren't they teaching these techniques, in the mainstream, like for women to support women? And then, like you said, when you kind of, have the baby as well. And it's just, I felt like I was just on Google all the time, just constantly trying to research things, like trying to pull information here. And, you just feel like very alone, I think, when you become a new mom. So I really love what you're doing in terms of trying to support women throughout that, journey from being pregnant to like those early motherhood years. So how is it that you kind of support women? Like how, so if I came to you, I'm pregnant, what kind of services could you offer me to support me?
So, of course, yeah, the services are a bit different if we talk about pregnancy, postpartum, or if we talk about like small babies. But if we take the example of pregnancy, so I offer like a follow up during the whole pregnancy,
Hmm.
and I would just explain like the different needs in the first trimester, the second trimester, and the third trimester. And what I will check is like your current situation, so like how you feel now, and what are you eating now, which kind of supplements are you taking now, and then we will move, of course, from that point. So we will check if there are some conditions, if you have really strong nausea, strong fatigue, if you have some aversion, and we would work with diet and supplementation through that. And yeah, but this adapt to so every stage of every semester of the pregnancy. So like we are really like shaping a baby, shaping like creating brain, creating a nervous system, creating everything. And there are like some yeah, special things to be aware of in some different parts of
Hmm.
pregnancy. And I'm not like I'm not a super fan of like heavy supplementation,
Hmm.
but I really like to explain to people how it's important to choose quality over quantity,
Yes.
and also because like the supplements market is becoming so big, and you can find them everywhere. You can find them at the supermarket, and yeah, it's just important to know what is inside. That not everybody can read like labels from supplements. Most of them are like not understandable,
Hmm.
and so I just like to explain what is inside, and yeah, why they need to take the supplements that I recommend instead of the other one. It's
Hmm.
really like a difference on quality, and yeah, on the results that then people can have.
Wow, that's
And
really
uh,
interesting. And I guess you look at
yeah.
it for like you're holistic as well. So you're looking at the person as a whole, like mind, body, and spirit. Because again, I think that's what the kind of Western medicine doesn't really take into account. Because you really like, each person is so individual. It's like, and what I like you're saying is that you're looking at that individual person and really tailoring like specifically what they need, which might be completely different to somebody else because if they're experiencing different symptoms at different parts in their pregnancy. Because like when I was pregnant with both of my daughters, I suffered with hyperemesis gravidarum, so I was being sick like throughout the whole of the pregnancy. So what advice would you give to me, for example, like suffering with hyperemesis gravidarum, or do you have any kind of recommendations to women who are going through this?
Um, yes, I just had like a conversation with a girl some weeks ago, and I think it's a tough condition. I mean, it's not something. It goes just beyond like having nausea in the morning, and be feeling a bit sick is really like proper condition. So normally we would work also like with tailoring a lot of support for the mother,
Mhm.
so you will need, I would suggest like, to having somebody taking care of your kids or somebody cleaning the house or somebody making food, because
Mhm.
sometimes the fact of being in contact with making food and smells and stuff like this can be just like a big trigger.
Mhm.
And there is a lot of rest that is needed. There are some high dose, like tailored dose of vitamin B6, which is normally used also in the right form, which is used to alleviate nausea. And then ginger can be used, but of course also like when I think about the remedies or the advices that can be done in the holistic space sometimes is often, I think people want like a quick fix, what can I do to solve that? And
Yes.
sometimes it's a matter of also um, welcoming what's happening and just really like slow down and adapting all the circumstances, adapting all your life through what is happening now, because sometimes we just feel like, okay, I need to change because doesn't work, and sometimes it's just a little bit the other way around. Like when we think about holistically, okay, what can I do to support how I feel now?
Yeah.
And yeah, but there are also like I would just say there are also like some conditions. For example, when you have like gestational diabetes or when you have the condition that you had. Uh, that needs to be, I always work like with doctors or midwife. I'm just like nutrition support, but
Hmm.
there are a lot of conditions also that needs to be supported by like professional
Yeah.
healthcare.
Yeah.
So i I think it's nice to combine everything and just work together, communicating. Yeah.
Definitely. I wish that it was more like that in the Western system where they were kind of bringing in, these alternative therapies and, the natural, like both can work great together, not just one or the other. I think, they really can work in harmony together. So in terms of like nutrition, because I follow you on Instagram and I see like all of the amazing food that you're eating and your children are eating. And half the time I think, gosh, I wish I could get my children to eat the food that your kids eat. Because my one daughter in particular, she's very much like bland, carbohydrate type food, but she'll eat lots of fruit, so kind of balance out it. My other daughter's fine. She'll eat like, vegetables and curries and all that kind of stuff. But what food would you say, like, mums and young children is kind of like essential to their nutritional support? Like what, or maybe that we've been misled in society, like what do you think is essential in terms of like protein, all of that kind of stuff?
So this is also a big topic and is also something that we always discuss with mothers. How do I make like good food for me and how do I make food that my family is eating as well? Because this is just practical, a big thing. And I think the most important things that we are moving a bit away from is just the fact of sourcing food, like real
Mhm.
food. And yeah, vegetables, eggs, chicken, herbs. There are just stuff that is one ingredient, like there is
Mhm.
nothing else inside. And there are markets. There are, I think, I mean, you live in a place where you can find abundance of like
Mhm.
fresh. Everything that we have up here comes from Spain or Italy. So I think for me it's a bit easier to get fresh food. But yeah, I think that the way we think is just to diversify as much as we can, and
Mhm.
this starts early on, especially also for babies. And this is what I do also when I start helping mothers, helping their babies, starting solids. It's really like to give this experience of different tastes and different textures. And I think in the last 100 years, 50 years, there has been like really a push into, as you say, bland food and a lot of porridge and cereals and all these things that we give like to kids that
Mhm.
is creating the unbalanced from the beginning to just kind of like this kind of taste and textures. And uh, and we don't also have to forget that like what we feed inside of our bodies then has like creating the microbiome that we have inside of us. And if we always feed like from one sources, these microbes, they will crave more of these. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
sometimes we think like, okay, I really like this food, but actually are our microbes in our microbiome that are saying to our brain, I want this food.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. They almost crave what they know, but not bringing
Yeah,
in that diversity.
yeah. And but it is like a complex topic and a little bit like our maybe modern problems. Um, so I think like for us at least we have this approach of like whole foods and we do like I mean some people could think that we don't eat a lot of things while I think we eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that maybe we don't eat what is not necessary. And but so I will always start with this approach of having a balanced diet. So I have good carbohydrates, so which actually are like roots, vegetables, and fruits. These are like they should be like a big part of our diet,
Mm-hmm.
which is always like confused with bread, rice, and pasta and these kind of things. And a lot of veggies, a lot of green leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and then like good quality protein, like good eggs, some chickens, or there are always like farms, or I really like to sustain regenerative farmings,
Yes.
but sometimes you can also find at this supermarket like organic and yeah, beans, lentils, nuts. Yeah, I think about everything: olive oil, butter, avocado oil, or just avocado. So it's really nice. And I think what has helped me to make my kids eat as they eat is that I eat this way, and that also like this is what can be found in our house. There is not like it kind of never happened that they just stand up from the table and I start to make something else for them. And it just yeah, it's something that I never done. And so they don't ask. But of course I can see that they're really smart. And sometimes they're not concentrate, sometimes they don't want to eat, especially if there is somebody else. But then we would just say, this is what there is, this even if there is nothing else. So
Yeah.
if you want to go and play, you just go and play, and then when you're ready, you can come and sit here and we eat all together.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but I know that this is like a big issue and it can create a lot of tension, can create a lot of stress, and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard also for parents. But I think that society is also making hard because we have available so much stuff that is
Mm-hmm.
tempting, and so much things that are easier, like to make or to have at home as snacks, and yeah. So it's a big topic, but I like to work like also with this individually and try to help mothers the best as I can. It's always not a matter of perfection, but just to reach some kind of balance point where you feel satisfied of how you are doing things and
Yeah.
you feel in control at least, because we are in control of these things in the end.
And I think, like you said, it starts from a young age, doesn't it? Like really trying to implement these foods, like when they are babies and they're first going on to solids, like just they've got that range of taste. Because I know that, like, again, it's like when I look back to when Poppy was first born, and if I knew what I knew now, like how different it would be. But I think I can't live in regret. Poppy is my eldest daughter, who's the one who eats a lot of, the potato, the carby type foods. Um, but like I remember like just giving her loads of those pouches. And I look back now and I just think like, oh my goodness, like they are just awful. Like the sweetness in them. And like I dread to think all the preservatives in them as well. And I think you just get like, we're getting kids addicted to sugar and stuff at such a young age, or that sweet taste. They're not used to kind of like the other taste of like the vegetables and everything. So I think it's super important, just literally keeping it as natural as possible, blending up like foods that are from scratch that you've bought or sourced, hopefully like organic if you can. Um, but yeah, I just remember like, I really wish I hadn't have got her onto those pouches because I think that really did affect her kind of taste. And then it gets to that point where it's convenient as well, for busy moms, it's like, oh well, I'll just grab a pouch or I'll just grab these snacky foods and just because it's quick, it's convenient, they're cheap. Because it's difficult, isn't it, when like you're a busy mom and you're trying to work and you're trying to run the home and you've got your kids. It's like you're trying to juggle a thousand plates, and sometimes it is hard to, really sit and think, right, I need to prepare these meals, I need to blend this food, I need to it's difficult, but I think it is so important. And, we look at like society as a whole, like we're just so ill, society is ill. And I really do think it's from all of these foods that we're eating that are just completely processed. But even so, like it makes me think about what they're spraying on these vegetables. Like sometimes I'll go in the supermarket and I just look at this shiny, almost like plastic looking fruit or vegetable. And they all look the same. They're all like, and it's just like this is just so unnatural. Like, and it's, it's been sprayed, it's been the GMO chemicals in there, and it just really, it's crazy how you were saying, in the last 150 years, how much our diet has changed in terms of like the chemicals we're ingesting as well with these sprayed toxic foods. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not an easy word to navigate, and yeah, we don't also have to depress ourselves too much
Yeah.
and feel guilty too much about what we are doing. But it's
Mhm.
really tricky, like it's not. I also use pouches sometimes at the beginning,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I know it's like everything is promoted, and nobody's saying to you, "Oh, this is a problem." This is normal.
Yeah, it's
And
normal.
so I think what I try to do, like now with mothers, is just we need to keep it simple. I know I cannot pretend from everybody just to be home all day cooking. It's not a matter of that, but it just get used at least your kids to eat like a real fruit or just a piece of avocado or
Yeah.
just a chunk of butter or just boil an egg. There are like some we have done this for thousands of years, so it should be like a way to yeah to do that. I mean, maybe mothers were busy in another way, but yeah, I know it's really a big topic, and but the main point is just to create more awareness around it,
Mhm.
and like as you say, there is really this window when babies are 6 months to 1 year, one and a half, when you really like create the basic, you just create the
Foundations.
foundation of their microbiome, of their taste, or their relationship with food, and around this, there even less support than in pregnancy and
Yeah,
postpartum.
yeah,
Because it's such a stressful time also for mothers to understand what's the best way to do that.
it really is. So in terms of like building this foundation then, like what would you say like the key foods that you would advise moms to start introducing to their children, like, when they first trying solid foods, what would be those key foods that you would recommend?
So I would say that it's nice to start, of course, with some fruits and veggies,
Mm-hmm.
but also like some good protein can be started. So like egg yolks or some meat or
Mm-hmm.
some broth. Not really like like bone broth, but when it's cooked not that long. So when it's a bit, it becomes a bit like jelly kind of, but it's cooked for I don't know some hours, not 12 hours. It's a bit more digestible and avocados and yeah. So these are just like the basic to start a little bit with for example brine from fermented food, like just
Mm-hmm.
start a little bit, and then there are also like some a little bit of herbs or spices, not anything like too 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 strong, but uh, things that don't have to be like mild. I wouldn't, of course, add salt and sugar at the beginning, but everything can be like mixed with olive oil or butter, avocado oil or ghee, and even when, for example, I don't know, giving something sweet as I don't know, you will bake uh, a pear, let's say, to make it soft. It
Mm-hmm.
can be made with butter or ghee, and yeah, so
Oh.
there. And then we will follow like a plan to introduce allergens. So at this point, like for example, grains and milk product will come in the end,
Mm-hmm.
and also white eggs will come after, and fish will come also in some. It's not nice just to start with like common allergens to don't overload the body, and
Mm-hmm.
but there are just like so many first food that can be tried, and which are not essentially, it shouldn't be like always with puree or with a lot of sweet things. It doesn't have like, or things can be adjusted, like if you, for example, use some vegetables and you mix it, you can add like the first time like half of an apple and then a quarter of an apple, and just like reduce things a little bit, just to don't make always the same like sweet taste.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And,
that's really good advice. So when
yeah.
when you're working with new moms with a baby, do you kind of come up with like a plan together, almost like a meal plan? Is that kind of how it would look, where you'd sit down and you'd kind of, on Monday, do this, Tuesday this, these are the kinds of foods to integrate.
Yeah, they write me what they are doing now. So we have a food journal for 3 days. Doesn't have to be like for so long. They just write me what they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, some snacks, and I check that. I check what can be uh, swapped
Mm-hmm.
and what can be adjusted. And then I give like some resources. I give a shopping guide. I give like meal planning, and we discuss all these together. What is possible, and what do they like to do? What they can find. Like if I told to you to find something, you will have in your mind, okay, I can go to this place and find this. Ah, yeah, I saw this at the supermarket. It's possible, and like we will need to find together a way just to create this meal plan a little bit more nourishing, a little bit more healthy, or a little bit more tailored to your needs. For example,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of mothers that maybe come and say that they're tired and that they're stressed, and when I see their meal plans is based on coffee and
Mm-hmm.
white bread with marmalade in the morning, and it's just like it can be hard to have somebody saying to you that, but I would just say that you feel like this because of the way you are doing things as well, you know. So I will need to say, okay, you cannot live without your coffee in the morning. Okay, but so let's try to eat something else before you take your coffee in the morning.
Yes.
uh, Try to, so don't have the, if you still like the bread with marmalade, but just try to eat something a little bit, something before eating that, so you don't have this blood a blood sugar spike and you don't get stressed like and tired 2 hours after. You just like to make small adjustments that the person feel can do.
Hmm.
And because this is the point, you know, like people of course need to make an effort but also need to feel like that the effort is doable and
Yes.
it can be done in the long term. And the hope of course is just to educate for the long term, you know, when you do things in a certain way and you feel like, oh, okay, I actually feel better, so I'm just gonna keep on doing that even if I'm not there to tell
Yeah.
you what you have
Yeah.
to.
That's really interesting because it's not like like you said, it's not major kind of shifts that people usually have to make. It's just little things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little changes that will really make such a huge impact on, the health and well-being and the energy. Because I know a lot of moms really struggle with tiredness and fatigue. But again, like you said, cutting out, not necessarily cutting out the coffee, but like you said, filling your stomach with something before you have your coffee. Like just these little things can really make a big difference. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you would say, like, to stay clear of? Like, what would you never put in your body that maybe, like, people kind of don't even see as being a bad thing?
um I'm honestly a bit impressed about, yeah, I would say like there is a lot of stuff that are found in the supermarket or that are found like, I don't know, let's say I would say a big one that everybody almost use it, like Coca-Cola. I don't I don't know, I personally don't like, I never use it and I don't see the point. It's not something that I do when I want to have fun with my friends. This is like the marketing side has been like
Mm.
programmed to be in this kind of environment. You know, you just meet, you have a nice moment, and you just drink a Coke.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's just something I just don't understand sometimes why I have to harm myself while
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something nice. And I don't know. I can appear like a little strict, I would say, but I think it's education also that we are giving also our kids to bind like nice moment and nice things that we are doing together with not good food.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's so much nicer actually when we do something we like and we're together with other people and we're having also like something nice and tasty and good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't have to be. I sometimes I don't get the fact, oh, but just let go, because then in our societies there are too many let go, you know, the air is polluted and the water is polluted and the product and the furniture and the house, and if you let go every time you want to have fun is also like there is just something wrong for me,
Mm-hmm.
kind of way of uh yeah, thinking that every time you need to have something fun. And there are a lot of things, you know, like you can have something fun and instead of buying a magnum you can go to a nice ice cream place and just buy a real ice cream instead of like processed one.
Yeah.
Uh, you
Yeah.
know, there are always like better options that yeah, sometimes we just need to find them.
Yeah. I'm
And
completely with you on like the Coca-Cola and the Fanta, and like I've never, like, there's been very rare occasions when my children would have drank that, and it's only in like a party situation when all the other kids are drinking it and they come up to me and they're like, Mom, can I have some? And then it's almost like that peer pressure of like all the other parents almost like looking at you. Because, when you say no, they're almost like looking at you like, well, I give it my kids. Like,
mm,
are you saying I'm a bad mom? Or like it's there's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
yeah,
But I I hate the stuff and I just think it's completely toxic. And I really see like the detrimental effect it has on like children's, like for example, like when we go to these parties or friends' houses and their kids are drinking like, Fanta and Coke, and you can just see the child change like into this like, like angry, emotional, like all this hyper energy, like acting out, playing up. And you're just thinking, but maybe that's a lot to do with the kind of toxins and the sugar that, they're putting in their bodies. Um, and I think it's sad that, like you said, the marketing around products like Coke and Fanta and stuff, and again, really aimed towards children too. Because I just think it's really toxic stuff. That's one thing that I really don't let my kids have. They've probably had it like 4 times in their life, and I really don't like it when they do. But it's my own fault feeling that pressure from other parents of like looking at me like, what are you saying I'm a bad mom? Because I'm giving it my kid.
Yeah, yeah, but there is not easy, and I don't think I have like the perfect recipe at all. But yeah, it's not an I mean, it's not an easy. They're not easy dynamics to navigate, and I think there are also exceptions, and there are like what is done in the house is
Hmm.
creating like the main culture, and this
Yes.
is what they will grow up with. There have also been occasion like where we are at parties and stuff like that. But as you say, like you can see the reaction. I think maybe what is important also to give our kids is just this message to let, I mean, your kids are now 8 years old, yeah, they're a bit older, but also to give them this reflection. So when you eat that, how do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, if you give them like something sweet, they say, oh, they taste good. But we're always thinking about how things taste and how do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel also after? And we also know as adults, sometimes we eat like in a place that is not the best or without, and then I mean our stomach is a bit heavy, you don't feel a lot of energy, you sleep
Yeah.
not the best, and so of course, I mean I eat food that tastes really good, but I also feel good about it. I feel good 2 hours later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a bit of also like I think an education to give our kids. You eat that, how does it taste? But how does it make you feel? Like, do you feel agitated? Do you feel angry? Do you feel nervous? Because then we connect also with another part of our body, which yeah, we don't tend to connect a lot, like how we feel.
Sorry,
And
my daughter's just walked in the room. Freddie, I'm just on a phone call, sweetheart. Yeah, all the seagulls. Wow. Just let me carry on, okay? It won't be long time. Bless her. So sorry, this is like what it's like, isn't it, when you're
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to run life with kids. Freddie, sweetheart, could you go back into the room for me and I'll be back in a minute, please? Yeah? You go to daddy. Okay, well sit there and be really quiet for me, okay? Sorry. So how would what would your day-to-day kind of food plan look like for you and your children, like from breakfast to lunch to dinner to snacks? Like what are kind of like your go-to meals that, because like everyone has their kind of like thing that they go to. Maybe it's convenient and quick, or like what would that look like for you from like breakfast, lunch, dinner?
Okay, let's say so we have shifted like a couple of years ago from like porridge with fruits and nuts to like eggs. So
Mm-hmm.
I think now every day the kids they just make 2 eggs for
Mm-hmm.
them, and maybe we have like half an avocado and sometimes yogurt. I start recently so to make some kefir, but yeah, they like yogurt with fruits or some tahini or yeah, eggs. There can be made in thousand ways.
Mm-hmm.
They still like, of course, the porridge. If I just do it, I try just to put it in the water the night before,
Mm-hmm.
or just to pop it up with some stuff. I don't know, yeah, some more like seeds and grains. They also had the phase where they really liked, especially in summer, the chia seeds.
Yes,
Which
yes.
they also overnights and yeah, with fruits and yogurt, this kind of stuff. And then I think I took a little bit the Nordic culture of having like easy lunch. So for lunch, we always cut some veggies and we have cucumber and bell pepper and carrots. We always have some snacks
Mm-hmm.
like this, and maybe there are like a piece of how do you say some fish, or we use our bread with some butter or something on top. Or I also love to use leftovers when I can. If I have something from the dinner, I just put some stuff together. heat up some beans together with some leftover meats or something, and just yeah, create something that is doesn't take a lot of time.
Hmm.
And then I would say, yeah, snacks can be like nuts or coconut. There are some coconut flakes that you can find where it's just coconut. Or now that it's summer, we are making our own like popsicle. How do you call it in English? Yeah,
Popsicle,
like
yeah, yeah.
popsicle. Uh, yeah, or a smoothie. Uh,
Hmm.
some some days ago we blended a lot of berries with yeah, some collagen powder and some milk and yeah, vanilla, and yeah, for 2 3 days we had like our blueberry smoothie for I and yes, I just finished with the menu, and then it depends. I always like soak something, so there is always some grains that are soaking, so I can make
Hmm.
buckwheat, or I can make some chicken, or I will always make vegetables. Yeah, 2 times a day I will always make some vegetables, I would say.
Hmm.
And yeah, and that's mostly what it is. Sometimes we have fish, sometimes we have meat, and sometimes we have lentils or chickpeas, or yeah, buckwheat, or yeah, potatoes, sweet potatoes mostly, or a lot of yeah, a whole dish baked in the oven. They like to
Hmm.
help. So at certain point in the afternoon, we just cut a lot of veggies and put everything in the oven, and dinner is ready. And
Nice.
they are helping to do that. And freezer is an amazing helper
Yeah.
sometimes, to have just I don't know, edame, beans, or yeah, if I cook a lot of, for example, meat sauce, then I can frozen then and just take out for like single meals. And yeah, so I think that's mostly how we work and do. But I've also changed, I would say, a little bit their diet. So in the past 2 years, and I can say that I feel at least that since they eat what they need, they eat a bit less. So, for example, we have sometimes kids coming over and they say, I'm hungry every like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And, babies do that, but at a certain point, we should need to stop to eat every 2 hours. And I think that, yeah, we need to make them eat more of what they need,
Hmm.
and snacking a little bit less during the
Yeah.
day. And of course, sometimes they also have this attitude to eat when they're bored, like they're getting bored and they say, oh, I want to eat something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
But I think also as a mother, sometimes, I mean, I kind of know, if they're hungry or not. If had like 2 eggs, an avocado, and a yogurt with nuts, they're not gonna probably be hungry after like 1 hour.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna say to them, let's go and find something to do. Let's make a drawing, or let's just read a book.
Yeah.
And uh, and if okay, otherwise I say, do you want half of a banana? Yeah, so that's what we have.
And you said about letting your kids kind of help you, and I think that's really important too, is like letting the kids help out in the kitchen in terms of like prepping the food, cooking the food. So do you kind of from a young age, have you allowed your kids to kind of come in and help you, support you in the kitchen?
Yeah, I think this is something I never hide from them.
Hmm.
Just like I mean, from washing the potatoes to peel them when they're a bit older. Now they can use a knife, like with our supervision, but they're just like different steps and different tasks that they can do. And I really see how this helped them to feel part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It grows also their self-confidence of they know that they're doing something, and that they are big because they can do that.
Hmm.
It's also like really, really helpful to make them eat like good
Yeah,
food,
yeah, definitely.
because it doesn't have like, sometimes I see my kids really doing like strange stuff, strange mix of things, and they just eat it because they have done it. I would never eat like what
Yeah.
they're doing.
That's so
But
true.
and but yeah, so I think it's really a really important part of having them. I mean, I know it can be kind of stressful, but sometimes I like to go shopping with them. Sometimes I also like to do it alone. I mean, it's nice
Yeah.
to go shopping alone as
Yeah.
a mom. but it's, I don't want to hide every part of the daily life from my kids, you know?
Mhm.
They never see who cooks, they never see who clean the house, they never see who is shopping,
Mhm.
and think that just, yeah, things works out from nowhere. So
Definitely, no, I completely agree. Like I'm always like maybe some moms might think I'm harsh, but I literally get my kids to help me clean the house, like tidy their bedrooms every day, you know, when they've made a mess, like they clean it up. Like if they've finished their food, they take their plates to the kitchen and put it in the dishwasher and I think it's important, you know, as moms, as like, you know, for us to have that support from our little ones and you really are creating this home environment. And especially like me on the homestead and everything, like me and Jack, and it's probably similar to you, like we don't have family here because we're in a, you know, a native, not in our native country. So it's
yeah,
not like my mom's next door or nearby. Like we need the help of the kids to help run this home. And I don't know, sometimes like I think parents like will look at me because if we've got friends over and I'm like, right, kids, can you go and do this? Can you go and put that away? Can you do this? And they might look at me like, blimey, she's a bit harsh. But I think it's important to nurture that in them young and instill those, you know, skills. Like even from my perspective, like growing vegetables and looking after the chickens and it's just all this kind of stuff, like this knowledge and these skills that we've lost from such like a you know, from our grandparents or whatever, that generation who had all these natural skills of like even just making clothes or sewing things, repairing something. I just really like to instill that in the kids at a really young age, like, you know, from the whole process of growing the food to cooking the food. So, and I do find that with Poppy, like when she does help and when she's, you know, involved in making the food, she will actually try it and eat it more rather than me just putting something in front of her and she's like, I don't want to eat that. But if she's actually helped prepare it, she really does, you know, at least try, which is great. So do you grow food at all?
yeah, we have now, we just moved like some months ago and we haven't done anything in the house, but we've just been
Mhm.
focusing on the garden.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's how it goes.
can also hear now some voices that yeah, we have some problem with slugs recently. There has been raining quite some, yeah, for a couple of weeks, and there's a lot of, yeah, they're eating everything. So this is also our kids' job to go every day and catch them before they eat everything.
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
but we have, yeah, we moved a lot also with my husband, but we both have like a bit of a background into living in the countryside, and we did some permaculture course and we lived in farms before, and I think this is really nice. And
um,
kids especially, it's really magical, these things of planting a seeds and seeing big plants growing and seeing giving like foods that we eat. And kids have been eating so many radish like these past weeks. They
yeah,
would never eat the radish that they buy at the supermarket at the same way, because they've been seeding the seed themselves. They've been seeding, giving water, seed growing. They harvest it. They take the soil out and they eat it. You know, even if they make this strange face, oh, it's it's strong, but it just
uh-huh.
so much satisfaction. And so I think really this contact with nature, and it can also be like family that don't have like a garden or something, but there are always like possibility to go and be active somewhere else. You know, there are always like, even when we lived in the middle of Brussels, we had like a urban garden, some kind of association. We
Yeah,
had like 2 meter square things, and we would just go in there sometime in the weekend and chat with other people and just have our flowers and see, yeah, see how nature works, how things
yeah.
are growing. That is always possible, and I think is a big thing for children, and especially to help them with this connection also with the food that they eat.
Definitely. Yeah, because there is a massive disconnect, I think, with like the food that we're eating and where it's come from. So I love the fact that like my kids will see like, you know, planting a seed and waiting for it to grow. And I think again, as a society, we're so used to at the moment that instant gratification. It's like, right, I want this, you know, and Amazon, it's there the next day, or I want this food and it's you can just pull it off a shelf. But actually that process of life of like growing a seed to nurturing it, to letting it, bloom and flourish, and then you eating the fruits of your labor. It's such a beautiful process that I think a lot of, humanity have lost in the last kind of 50, 60 years. So yeah, I love that. And I think like I'd love to talk to you about because what I'm really passionate about is helping people turn their knowledge into online businesses. And I know that's how we kind of like met initially, how I kind of came into your world is through like the online space of affiliate marketing. So it'd just be interesting how you have turned your knowledge or how you can explain how you've done this and turned it into your business because your business, I'm guessing you could do one-to-one in-person consultations, but you do run your business online, am I right?
Yeah, for now I'm just focusing on the online, and I think a major part for choosing that is because I'm a foreigner,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also a mother. So like my time to go around and be social is a bit restricted,
Yeah.
and I've honestly been like really low tech for a really long time, and
Mm-hmm.
still I am in some kind of ways, but I can see like how I can see how many possibility it has been just given me the fact of studying online in a language I could understand
Mm-hmm.
and keep on growing and learning, developing myself with the passion that I had. Like if I could think about me, a mother coming from Italy and living in Denmark 100 years ago, I would be such I would be you are so I don't. You are so back. How do you say? How can I say? You're like just start from zero, no? When you come
Yeah.
into a new country and a new
Yeah.
culture, you can. I didn't have all this like perspective of educating myself
Mm-hmm.
and blah blah blah. And the fact and the online space is just giving me this opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to study, to take a diploma in something that I liked, and just possibly to make an income out of it and to connect with other people
Yeah.
and I think this has been really like nice and interesting. And in the past couple of years, I've been using also a lot of time to try to be a little more tech
Mm-hmm.
and that how I've been used to do. And also like push a little bit myself into things. I don't like to spend time on the computer and try to understand things, building my website, building my offer, preparing my flyers. It's just been like all parts of yeah building something for myself and just really this feeling of working for something that is growing and is going somewhere, just okay, we have phases of life where we just go and pick a job because we need some money, but we know it's short time, I know it already, I know it's just something I do now, but
Mm-hmm.
just to have these long term goals or where I want to go, what I want to do, and this is something that the internet space and working online has helped me. It's always been there on the background while I was always also having other jobs or stuff like that. But I just kept this possibility
Yes. Yeah.
of the online space.
It's amazing how when you are like an expat mom in, a foreign country that like what a life-changing thing it is to be able to make money online. And I just yeah, I think you are testament to how you've been able to turn your passion, like I know it sounds cheesy, but turn your passion into profit. Like, you're literally all of your knowledge, you're packaging it into offers and being able to sell that service to people all online. So if you decide to move country again, you can just literally take your laptop with you with an internet connection and your business follows you. And that's like, as much as like the internet, there's the pros and cons, isn't there? There's the negatives of the internet, which we're all aware of. But then it's this beautiful thing of just being able to earn money anywhere in the world. And I just think that's incredible, especially when you're an expat mom, with kids in a foreign country. So yeah, I think it's amazing like what you've done. And I really love like how you have packaged all of this knowledge and passion into your offers. So what other ways do you kind of like support yourself online? Because I know you said you're kind of going into is it affiliate marketing with Energic? Is that how you say it?
Yes, so I have like some side projects. So my main offer for now. So is to work with my consultation, and
Hmm.
but then I started to turn into like also find good product that I can work with. Actually, also this word of for me especially to just to work online with my consultation would feel pretty much lonely as well.
Hmm.
And so I just found this nice company where I like the product because I'm a consumer of the product since
Hmm.
1 year and no health claims, but it's been helping my health. So
Yeah.
I don't say, yeah, it helped you, but it has helped me. And I'm really like, how do you say, strict on like products. I like to check them and I like to, make studies on them. And anyway, I just found this product that has helped me a lot and my family. And I'm really grateful to have this product. And then I just realized that I could work with it. And
Hmm.
I think it was just like it's just this new way of working
Yes.
uh, that I also was not aware of, and a lot of people are a little bit, oh my God, what's that? But it actually makes a lot of sense, and why not? I mean, you find a company where you like the people, your colleagues, you like the people you work with, you have full support, you have like product that you like. Why did you have to say no to a possibility, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I'm just slowly like building this up, and but I really see the thing in the long term.
Hmm.
So
Because
yes.
for people who are listening who maybe don't know what affiliate marketing is, it's basically where you're kind of recommending a product, and if people buy that product through your link, you get a commission. So it's really great, like Gear's saying, if if you love a product and you're really passionate about it, why not just shout about it to your friends and then pop a link out if someone buys that product? Or usually if it's like, they offer lots of different products, if they click on your link initially and then buy even another product through off the back of your link, you will earn a commission. So again, for like moms and busy homestead moms, or it's such a great way, I think, to be earning that kind of like passive income. And how you're kind of affiliating with a project that aligns with your niche as well. It aligns with your kind of business model in that health and wellness industry. So it's a great way to see how you're kind of making that work and pulling in like these multiple streams of income. So not just through your consultations, but also through, affiliating with projects that align with your niche. So it's really interesting to see how you're kind of pulling that all in together.
Yeah, I think it's also really interesting. And I could say also like this is a big market. So nowadays you can be affiliate a bit of for there is a lot of things that you can promote and be affiliate, and there is a lot of influencers that promotes a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I think like the important is to just to be aligned. And I mean, people coming into my Instagram will see that I'm not selling everything. I'm not like selling a bit of makeup and a little bit of that. But there are certain products that are really like working, and I think they're nice, and I want just to share with other people.
Yeah.
And I don't see any why not I can make some money out of it,
Mhm.
because we buy things all the time and people have no problems, as I say, to give money to Coca-Cola. So
Yes.
why to don't support like a small business, one person business, a mom that
Yeah.
with two children is trying to do her best every day and is studying and working and just do something nice, like I know with the product I'm giving, I'm not harming anybody. And so I think it's really nice. It's a really nice opportunity.
Yeah, it's a
And
great business model, which I do kind of really recommend for people to kind of dive into, is that affiliate marketing. So yeah, I don't want to like keep you for much longer because we've been chatting for over an hour and 15 minutes now, but it's been so nice chatting. But I'd really love to wrap it up for people just to like if someone wants to come and work with you, like obviously I will link your website and your Instagram and everything and how they can book a call with you in the show notes. But yeah, like how would people approach to work with you? Is that just initially booking a call, having like a little chat first?
Yes, I always there is on my website the book a free call, so I think this is just like the first nice step to have, so I can explain to people how we work together, but
Yeah.
especially I can listen like what people need, what people want, what people expect,
Hmm.
and it's also gonna be like yeah, it's just much more personal, you know. I want to know if we match with each other, if it's gonna be like a nice. If this person wants to invest in me because they like my way of being or my energy and the way I talk or the way I explain things, it needs to be like a match. And I think this is yeah, this is nice to do that with a call. And
Okay.
I'm I for now craft this offer with 3 sessions because I think that is not possible to do a lot of things in one session. I've tried because I did a lot of exam for my studies and we're always one session, and we
Hmm.
had a lot of things to cover in one session, and
Hmm.
was ending up. I mean, I was always ending up giving a lot of follow up by email and because the things that were just too much. And so I just decided to create like some different sessions and to keep on giving like support during this time because also like there are things that takes time, you know, for you to order the supplements and to see if they're working or to for you to change your diet and start to buy new things, start to see if your kids like it, and if you feel more energized in the morning. It's not something that you can do in a week or
Yeah,
just for me giving you all the information in one time. So I just like to keep it this way, and yeah, I think this is the way we're gonna have more results. Yeah.
amazing. Oh, well, Gia, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been so nice to chat to you, and I love following your journey. Like it's, all the food that you're eating, like how you're helping moms. I find it really inspiring. So thank you so much, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Thanks for inviting me.
And yeah, so if there's, I think we'll wrap it up now. And yeah, just thank you again so much for kind of joining me today. And like I said, I will leave all of the kind of information on how people can contact you and work with you in the show notes and your Instagram handle so people can also feel inspired by what you're doing. And yeah, I just look at the food you're eating and I'm like, oh, so good. So yeah, thank you so much again. And it was lovely to connect with you.
For me too.
And yeah, we will keep in touch. But send
Keep
you
in
loads.
touch.
Have a beautiful weekend and we'll speak soon.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.